Welcome to Wake Up and Smell the Freedom. Good evening, my friends. I'm Dr. Claude Porras. I'm a scientist, chemist, businesswoman, and athlete. This chat has been created for those who want to educate themselves on what it is to be a free one. I will cover the Constitution and how it pertains to free life, the political system, economics, and the ideas of personal freedom and personal liberty. This is United States, but you can apply to your own country. Most can agree that the country has lost its way. Only by educating ourselves and then becoming involved we can hope to restore our republic. Just like coffee, this chat comes in various strengths. It is suggested that you start with the lighter side of the education process. Take time to unlearn what you have been fed by the mainstream media. Get yourself a cup of coffee or your drink of choice and take it one tap at a time. Once you have a good feel for the lighter side, take a plunge into the stronger stuff and go to the dark roast. Go further into the philosophy of freedom, what the Constitution means, deeper political and economic thought, as well as the true vision of our country was in the words of the founders, through their writings, the discussions and arguments they had with each other during our nation's founding. To quote Thomas Jefferson, whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. That whenever things get so far wrong as to attract their notice, they may be relied on to set them right. In questions of power, then, let no more be heard of confidence in man, but bring him down from mischief by the change of the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson. In our society, we're inundated with information, text messages, tweets, commercials, sound bites, etc. Sadly, with all of this information, there is very little knowledge. Today, if you were to stop and ask someone a question like, what form of government do we have? Can you explain the difference between the national debt and the deficit? In our current monetary system, do you think it is better to have our current fiat system, or was the classical gold standard better? What is the role of the Constitution? The state constitution? Does our trade deficit hurt us in the global market? Can you explain the political relationship between the federal government and the state governments? You will probably be met with blank stares, a shrug of the shoulders, or an I don't know. Question like this can sound hard, scary, or maybe even boring, but knowing these answers to things like these are critical to understand the things that are affecting your life. They affect the prices you pay in the supermarket for a car and most everything else you buy. How you are allowed to raise your children can affect the price of your utilities or who you are allowed to purchase from, affect your home ownership and property, as well as what you are allowed to do with them, and on and on. They are also critical in being able to make an informed opinion on the candidates we select to represent us in office and the legislation that is passed. In our society, politics has been boiled down to a sports-like mentality. People pick either a Democrat or a Republican and then cheer their team in elections. This, sadly, is the problem with the direction of our nation. People no longer seek knowledge or have political discussion beyond typical partisan talking points. That is why Wake Up and Smell the Freedom was started, to show people an environment to openly ask questions and discuss without having to feel silly, ashamed, or embraced. We encourage you to make your environment as friendly and laid back as possible. The discussion are topic-driven, not partisan. Many people are surprised that the answer to many of the questions above and many other questions are really not that difficult if you have just some basic understandings. So join with your friends, make some new great friends along the way as we journey down the path of knowledge.